You are one decision away from changing everything in your creative work and in your creative life. That's what we're going to talk about on this episode. Hey, thanks for joining us. My name is Kevin Gregg. I'm a creative director, producer, writer. I have performed, presented for over 2.5 million people in live audiences, and I help you get your creative work done. Yeah, glad to have you here on the show. Um, yeah, there's something that came up for me today when and this goes back to last week. A friend of mine had shared something on social media with me, and I thought, man, this really resonates, and especially with a lot of things that I've been going through during the last week, personally and outside of here. And I realized that there's a connection with this, not only with my creative work, but also with your creative work. And by the way, if this is your first time that's here, welcome to the show. One of the ways that you can help us here is I help you get your creative work done. And that's exactly what I do over in my creative community that's over on the school platform, which is called Working Creatives. You can join the hundreds of people that are over there that are working on getting their creative projects finished, getting it to audience, and getting it out there, getting it to market so they can start generating income and revenue for their creative work. Head on over to the school platform. The link is down below in this video so that you can join us and get your creative work done and get it out there. So last week I had a friend of mine, Kenny Landman, who is over in the community and somebody that I worked with over the years. Actually just went to go see a stunt show that he had written, directed, coordinated, performed in, that was done for an organization just about 2 weeks ago. It was just amazing. I was super, super proud of him. But anyway, Kenny ended up sharing something from a filmmaker, Ryan Whitaker, which I'm actually going to share with you right here. And I just thought, man, this just really resonated with me. I'll just read through this. Ryan put out this post, and Ryan is the director of films like Surprised by Oxford. He's also got the new upcoming Western Flint, which is going to star Josh Holloway, that was in Lost, but also my friend Charles Eston, I just realized, is going to be in that too, which is awesome. But anyway, Ryan shared this, which I'm going to read to you. The last few years have been the busiest of my career, but here's the truth. Absolutely nothing about this is easy. There's only way there's only one way, I think he meant to say. There's only one way to potentially, hypothetically make it in this business. It has to be plan A. And there can be no plan B. Every day is a grind. I'm constantly thinking 2, 3, 4 projects ahead, but I keep pushing forward because there is no plan B. Yeah, that just really, truly resonated with me when I saw it, because I thought, yeah, that's exactly it. When it comes to creative work, there can't be a plan B. There's a scene in the movie Serpico with Al Pacino from the 70s. Sidney Lumet directed it. But it's at one point where Al Pacino's character, Serpico, who was based on a real cop in New York, he's hanging out with his girlfriend, and there's a lot of like actresses, actors and artists and all this other stuff. And there's a lot of people that are saying, well, I'm an actor, but I'm also, I'm a waiter during the day, or yeah, I'm a painter, but I also, deliver packages and all this stuff. And he kind of, and the character makes a comment saying, you got a lot of your friends that are saying that they're one thing, but they're actually doing something else. How come they aren't just the one thing? Now, I know the pushback that will happen, especially for artists and creatives, is to go, well, it's just impossible. Like, how can you just fully do that? You'll starve, right? And I do want to recognize that, because this isn't about you being a starving artist. And if you actually go back in some of the videos I shared over the last couple of weeks, you start to discover that that idea about being a starving artist is kind of a myth that was started in the late 1800s with the play slash opera La Boheme, which ended up becoming Rent, the musical Rent, and that concept behind that. But my point with this is, I think it's the difference between having your foot on the dock and your foot in the boat, and eventually at some point you just have to make a decision. I've had to do this a number of times in my life where, again, I would get opportunities to work on things, but then all of a sudden the opportunity would end, and now you got to figure out a way that you're paying the bills. So I've done that before with having to work in, auto insurance company, which I absolutely hated. I worked there for about 9 weeks, and when Kate was 3 months pregnant with our son, Maddie, she just said, leave, we'll figure something else out. And thank God within a month later, I ended up landing, my acting gig at Disney, which led to like years and years of work with them at the Walt Disney Company, which eventually led to me doing, directing and creative consulting and all this stuff. But there's sort of a decision that has to be made, which is to go, I am going for this, and recognizing that you may have like side gigs at the time that are helping you pay the rent, keep the lights on, all this other stuff. But it has to be that focus on like, I am working towards this to make this happen and to make that revenue come in for myself. And to make this, I feel that this has been put on my heart. And particularly for me, I have to go to and say, Lord, you've given me these abilities, these skills, and that I'm using them for your purpose, right? I'm using them so that the relationships I have or whatever I do, it's that it's ultimately pointing people towards you and towards that glory, right? That's what this has to be. And that's for me. So the thing is, if I've been given this assignment, I intend to use these abilities and these skills that way. This does not mean that it's going to be easy, that you've been given this mission, and it means you have to figure out, how do I do this? How do I crack this code in order to get some sort of stuff coming my way? And sometimes it's about testing as small little batches, whether it's if there's something that you have written or created or whatever, it's about trying to get it out there and seeing if there's an interest in there. If it's about you being connected at a larger scale, okay, do I need to be doing presentations or taking meetings with people that could potentially, finance these larger projects? Can I get them on board with what this idea and this vision is so that they can go, all right, I'm in. I believe in your vision. I believe in what this could be. Here you go. Here's money to make that happen, right? How do I figure that out? If part of this is about trying to figure out like, well, how do I do this so that I can show a potential rate of return for these people? Because that's also a part of it too, right? This can't just be about like, well, I'll just do stuff and people will just, give me money and then I'll just do whatever I want to do. You have to understand there's a value exchange that's happening. There is a value exchange that is happening with your art, with whatever you're doing. Even if it's the fact that somebody says, I really want that painting hanging up because I would love looking at that every single day in my home and it just fills me with joy. That's worth something to me, right? And like paying money for that. That's a value exchange that happens for this, right? If you're doing a film, this is something where somebody goes, you know what? I'm feeling a little bit low and I want to feel inspired, or I want to feel lighter for today. I want to go back and watch that movie or put on that movie again. Or, you know what? I'm going to read that book again, right? Something where somebody says, this is worth it. This is worth the money and the value that I'm giving this. Now, that's one thing that I need to tell you, is that you have to realize that this is ultimately about learning parts of the business and going, okay, where's the gap in my education? Where's the gap in what I need in order to do this? But the first thing that has to happen with all of this, ladies and gentlemen, is you have to make that decision to go, this is what I am doing. Come hell or high water, this is what I'm going to be. It goes back to another video that I just did last week, which is about making that decision. It's between the starving artist and the working creative. You make the decision of going, this is it. I'm going in for this. And no matter what's happening, I'm going to do everything in my power to make this happen. You'll be key. And also part of that that's going along is I'm going to also ensure that my relationships are healthy along the way, and that I'm keeping open communication, and that we're just striving forward as we do this. It's a lot, right? It's a lot, but it has to come down. It has to come down to that decision that you're making of saying, I'm this. I am doing this. So I think that that's the thing that I need to tell you today on this video is, and you'll know, like, it is a switch that goes off. I remember the idea of like going, I'm going to be a working actor. How do I do that? Okay, I need to be getting into classes with other people that are doing this. How do I find out how to get an agent? How do I start going out in auditions? How do I do auditions? Okay, let me go to a class so I can learn how to do that, right? You're continually learning and gathering that information and then applying it. Because it's not just about gathering information, saying, well, I know what I'll do. Then it's also about acting on it too. And so it will be the decision and then the actual acting on it. And it's not for the faint of heart, right? And that's okay too, if maybe it is scary and it is overwhelming and it's I don't know if I can do this. We get the I don't know if I can do this before we have the breakthroughs that happen. But there's got to be a little bit of the heart palpitations that come along the way too. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you. What's your decision that you have to make? What's the thing that you have to claim? And put the line in the sand and say, here we go. This is it. Here's what my past was, and now here's what my future is, and this is what I'm going all in on. So if you want to share that, please do so in the comments. Thank you again. Please join us over at the Working Creatives community. We'd love to have you over there and be among the other people that are on that path of getting their stuff done and getting it out there into the world. Thanks for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you find out when a new video comes out. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks, everybody. Onwards, upwards, and God bless. Bye-bye.